Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com, and it is time for this month's Tarotscope for April 2024. So I'm going to pick two cards for each astrological sign, starting with Aries and ending with Pisces. And there are these convenient little timestamps at the bottom of your screen, of which you can quickly get to your relevant message. And if you want an even more accurate reading, you might also want to listen to the message for your astrological moon sign and your astrological rising sign as well. So, without further ado, let's get into April's tarot scopes. First, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aries. So, if you're an Aries or have a lot of Aries in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus this April. And happy birthday for the April Aries, by the way. And the first card we get here is the Three of Pentacles. Now, this is a collaborative scene. We see the craftsman in the monastery, and there's these monks that are handing him a set of plans. And if you look super closely at the plans that they're handing him, drawn on the plans is the actual scene that the craftsman is building. So for you, Aries, this could be a time of really drawing up a plan for your own year. This could be a time of transformation for you. This is also a wonderful card when it has to do with education, refining a skill set, taking your skill set to the next level. I really think that the Three of Pentacles can also indicate that you're going to find great solutions for you, especially this next month, Aries, if you consult with others and draw up a plan for what it is that you want to do. The Three of Pentacles is telling you that there's always something more to learn, and so you want to be open to that learning this next month. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're an Aries for this next month of April, is the Justice card. And Lady Justice is seated between the two gray pillars, the color of neutrality. She's assessing every situation with eyes wide open. She's not like Lady Justice who's blindfolded at the courthouse. This Justice figure looks at the facts that are in front of her as she sees them. And so this could be a time, Aries, where you're assessing things. Also, she holds that sword of truth and authority, but also the scales of balance. And so this could be a time, Aries, where you're really balancing two different possible avenues for you to go down. But in the end, the truth is what's going to set you free. Staying in alignment with what your authentic path is, what you really feel is important for you, is going to be so significant this next month. It's also a time to stay calm, to be neutral. Both of these cards, the Three of Pentacles and the Justice figure, have sort of an educational, cerebral, logical quality to them. So this might not be a month where you're just jumping in without thinking, but instead you're really assessing the situation and coming up with a really good game plan. Either way, that Justice figure is going to tell you that your wisdom is really pushing you toward looking at things in a very neutral, calm, rational, and logical way. So don't let your heart rule your head this next month. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Taurus. So if you're a Taurus or have a lot of Taurus in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for April 2024. The card we get here is the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles has long been called the poverty card. And before you freak out, oftentimes this card doesn't foretell that you're just going to lose all your money and something terrible is going to happen financially speaking. Because for me, Pentacles cards, especially in the tarot, they have less to do with a dollar amount and more have to do with our sense of self-worth or worthiness. And the Five of Pentacles does warn against poverty thinking, which can sometimes be in the form of what will happen if I don't have enough and I can't get this done? Or what will happen if I don't give this person this thing for the 5 millionth time, even though it hasn't helped them before, but it's sort of what I'm obligated or feel guilty to do. Five of Pentacles is telling you to turn off the spigot to the energy wasters in your life. This can come in the form of people, but it also can come in the form of situations where you're endlessly giving of yourself, Taurus, but you're not seeing a return for it. The universe is all about balance, reciprocity. What you put in is what you should be getting out. And if you're finding that there's a lopsided part of your life that you continue to give to, and it's not serving you, it might be a time where you really decide that it's time to turn off the spigot to that. It's time to walk away from it. Also, the Five of Pentacles can just tell you that you do have a place on the inside, in the warmth of the cathedral behind you. You don't have to stay out in the snow or in the cold or feel like you're alone here. So sometimes this card really does tell you to walk into those places, to take your seat at the table where you deserve to be, and to overcome any self limiting beliefs coming in the form of poverty consciousness from this card that are really preventing you from being your all. The next card for Taurus is going to be advice from your inner wisdom for this next month of April. And we get the Queen of Cups reversed. And it's so interesting. It's in alignment with that first card. I'm feeling like feelings might be running the show. And Taurus, this next month feels like doesn't necessarily mean that it is like. It may be a time to look within and trust your instincts, but also to know the difference between what your instincts are and what your feelings are. Feelings can make you feel guilty, scared, anxious, obligated, stuck in this minutia, whereas instincts can make you feel sharp, clear-headed, wise, knowing just what to do or just how to act. And so I do feel like, a lot of people say, look within, there's the answer. I do think that the answer is found within. But a lot of times when we look within, the first layer that we're met with is something that makes us feel uncomfortable or afraid. And I feel for you, Taurus, it is time to dig a little deeper this next month. It's time to go into the deeper inner truth, into your higher awareness, your instincts. Really look at things from the perspective of your spirit, your soul. That's going to put all this in perspective. And if you have been feeling depleted, drained, frustrated with trying to see something succeed, and it's just feeling like it's not doing it, this might be a time where you're really reassessing and you're putting this thing under the microscope of your instincts, and you're not getting caught too much in your feelings about the matter this next month. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Gemini. So if you're a Gemini or have a lot of Gemini in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for April 2024. The card we get here is the Six of Pentacles. And here we see that wealthy merchant who's handing coins to the poor. He knows he's not going to get those coins back, but he's also holding those scales with his other hand. And what that can symbolize is karma. And so what this card is telling you to do is act with kindness. Bring your A game. Bring your compassion this next month. Because everything that you put out, you will get back. And this is all about energy flow when we see the Six of Pentacles. Also, this card can tell you to be aware of angels unaware on your path. This can come in the form of spiritual beings, little testers, somebody that just shows up that maybe on the surface doesn't look like they have value to you. And yet you're needing to stop yourself from being so dismissive. You're needing to look a little closer. You might need to look at the sacredness in the eyes of the person that's before you. The universe is constantly communicating with us through little signs or signals or messages, but especially through other people. And sometimes random answers can just happen on your path from people that you might have disregarded. So I just feel with this card for Six of Pentacles for Gemini this month, this next month, it's to pay attention, to look at the sacred that's right in front of your nose. It's also a card of, committing those random acts of kindness. I think that this is never a waste of energy to be kind. And so this is a time, again, to really let your best self take the lead. The advice from your inner wisdom for this next month, if you're a Gemini, is the Four of Pentacles. So two earthy cards here. And for me, Pentacles, they often have to do with our sense of value, our sense of worth. And here we see someone who's doing the exact opposite of what the figure's doing on the Six of Pentacles. Where the Six of Pentacles figure is just handing his coins away, here we see a miser on the Four of Pentacles. He's clutching these coins tightly. He's stressed out and worried about them. He's worried that if he lets go of his coins, he's not going to be secure anymore. And so this is keeping him in a state of suffering. I mean, just look at his face. He's miserable here. The Four of Pentacles, as advice from your inner wisdom this next month, Gemini, is asking you, what are you believing is the source for your security that you need to hang on so tightly to? That's actually not even making you happy anymore. There's a sense that you're needing to just give away things that are becoming burdensome to you. Also, the Four of Pentacles can just say that you need to stop stressing that there isn't enough, or that you have to be afraid, or that you have to be anxious and clutch on to every little shred of security that's in front of you. It's time to get out of that mindset. I find that with these two cards, maybe the message for you, Gemini, is that the solution to your problem, the thing that's going to be making you so anxious, that solution is going to be found by asking someone else, how can I help you? Oftentimes, when we're offering that support or that care to another, we find that we're also unconsciously helping ourselves. And so I feel this next month for you, Gemini, be generous with your time and really start to allow yourself to give of yourself and really look out for anything that's keeping you feeling burdened, scared, or stuck. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Cancer. So, if you're a Cancer or you have a lot of Cancer in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for April. And we actually get the Tower card. And the Tower freaks people out. They're like, oh no, the Tower, something terrible is going to happen. A lot of times when I see the Tower, it's no shocker or surprise to the person who's getting it. They know exactly what the Tower moment's talking about for them. And what does the Tower represent? Well, it represents us being in a state of denial by numbing ourselves from what our true feelings are. The prisoners in the tower were prisoners of their own making. They got into their tower and they're like, la la la, everything's fine outside. I'm completely okay. Even though there's a really bad storm out there, and even though there's an earthquake beneath our feet, we're just going to just hide out here and it's all going to be fine. And with each rationalization they're making, the tower gets taller by a brick, until inevitably the universe is going to send that lightning bolt that knocks them out of that state of denial and gets them back in touch with the earth below, gets them back to square one, to their own nature. So for you, Cancer, where it's best to place your focus this next month is what you might be in denial about, what you might be anxiously ignoring. Sometimes we think by avoiding the thing that's scaring us, we're actually staying ahead of it. We're safe from it. It's making us feel this relief. But in fact, it's just setting us on a collision course with a reality later on that's not going to be very comfortable. This might be a time, Cancer, which counterintuitively, you have to get out of your shell. You have to stop protecting yourself so much by hiding away or retreating. And instead, you're needing to get out of that tower and get back into the world. Leaving the tower is not a bad thing because the tower is not anything if not a prison. So it's just a month next month for you, Cancer, to look at what has been keeping you limited. What are you trying to stay one step ahead of that's so frightening? Maybe it's time to face that thing head on, flip the script, and be courageous. And the advice from your inner wisdom that might help you with that this next month, Cancer, is the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is the exact opposite energy of the Tower. The Knight of Wands is the archetype of freedom, travel, movement, going to foreign places, foreign situations, putting yourself in what's new. Your breakthrough, Cancer, is going to come from new things, new lands, new people, new ideas, not from the old ruined tower of the past that has proven to be shaky at best and, traumatic at worst. And so I just kind of feel like, Cancer, this is a time to defy expectations and leave the shell, leave that desire to protect yourself. It's time to explore. It's time to set yourself free. It's time to throw that caution to the wind. And finally, the Knight of Wands can indicate that an adventure is opening up to you. There is a quest. And you can't enjoy this quest if you don't participate, if you don't even leave your own front door. So this is a time for you to really set your intentions on what you want to create in your life and start walking in that direction. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Leo. So if you're a Leo or have a lot of Leo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for April. And the card we get here is the Ten of Wands. And we just see this figure here where he's got these 10 heavy sticks on his back and he's lugging them across a field. And the Ten of Wands can indicate that this month there is a lot on your shoulders, Leo. You might have a lot of irons on the fire. And yet, if you look closely, the figure here is just about to cross the finish line. This is the final push, the final slog to the end. And so I feel for you, you're so close to the end of the thing that you're carrying on your shoulders. Also, Ten of Wands isn't always a negative attributed card. Yeah, it does indicate labor, but it's also a harvest scene. the work is worth it. The efforts that the person's putting into this is for that harvest. And it's also benefiting that manor house in the distance. It's benefiting the family, the home, the community, the larger organization, or the larger designer plan. And so for you, Leo, I just feel like you need to, keep yourself to the grindstone, get this finished. It might also be just a month where you really want to not make excuses or avoid. You just want to push that energy through to its completion because you're oh so close. The advice from your inner wisdom this next month, Leo, for April is the Two of Pentacles, which is a card of flexibility and adaptability for me. It also shows the figure who's juggling the two coins. This could be a time where you're juggling two different things. You have two areas of your life that need equal attention. And yet those wavy waters behind the juggler on the card are constantly sending curveballs his way. And yet he's good-natured. He's good-humored about it. He's flexible. He's rolling with the punches. We can even see those ships in the distance that are just rolling over the waves. For this month of April, Leo, your inner wisdom is telling you, don't fight the waves. Cooperate with them. Ride the wave toward where you want to go. Also, be flexible, adaptable. The figure on the Two of Pentacles almost has a quality of like rubber or a little rubber band. His hat is all stretched out. There is a sense that you're going to be in much better shape if you can be kind of like rubber where you can bend instead of like this iron rod that's going to snap in two against all the force of the waves that are pummeling your way. So I just feel like bend, and most importantly, keep your sense of humor. Laugh at things. Don't take everything so seriously. All of this isn't personal. It's just busy. It's just life. It's just what's getting thrown in your path. And so if you can learn to laugh at it all, you're going to ride that wave into a beautiful May. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Virgo. So if you're a Virgo or have a lot of Virgo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for April 2024. And the card we get here, Virgo, is the Page of Swords reversed. Now, the Page of Swords reversed can sometimes represent an overcaution, an over-worry about possible threats. It can also indicate that you might be getting a little bit, I don't want to use the word paranoid, but you might be thinking, well, ooh, what does that mean? What did that person do that facial expression at me for? What is the hidden agenda that they have here? Are people out to get me somehow? Page of Swords is kind of deflective. He's super intelligent, just like you are, but sometimes he overthinks things. He picks them apart to little itty bitty pieces till the truth doesn't even resemble what was there in the beginning. And so I feel like you're really needing to take a breath and really not jump to conclusions when we see the Page of Swords reversed. This could also just be a month where other people are especially trying. They may be unaccountable, deflective. They may not be holding their own weight. And so for you, Virgo, it's so important that this next month, you're just taking your time, reserving judgment, and not really freaking out about this stuff too much. Next, we're going to go into the advice from your inner wisdom to help you cope with all that stuff. And we actually get the Nine of Pentacles card. Now, the Nine of Pentacles has been called the wealth card in the tarot, but often it also has to do with raising standards of excellence, really not accepting anything that's beneath you. The Nine of Pentacles can just tell you, Virgo, that your inner wisdom's telling you that you're more secure than you think. And although your focus may be on potential threats or worries or things that are making you anxious, what you're instead needing to do is really keep an eye on the long game. There's always that little snail at the bottom of the card on the Nine of Pentacles card. And so this could be a month for you, Virgo, where you're really kind of being patient with things and you're really looking at what you're trying to achieve over time. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Libra. So if you're a Libra or have a lot of Libra in your chart, this first card is where it's going to be best to place your focus for April. And we have the Strength card. And the Strength card will come up for you, Libra, to say that you're stronger than you think you are. Here on the Strength card, we see the woman in the white gown. And what this represents is your higher self, your spirit. And she's taming the lion below her. And for everybody, the lion's different. The lion represents the thing in your life that feels unruly, the thing that requires management so that it doesn't consume you utterly. And so some people, the lion is their fear, their anxiety. Sometimes the lion is their temper, their anger, their emotions about something that is super strong. And yet, what I feel for you, Libra, is that it's through good choices, daily choices to choose to be strong that are going to lead to your breakthrough. So, this could be a time to really bring your A game and really reinforce good habits. Just as muscles need to be strengthened daily to get stronger, so too does the application of your higher self in your life to get a good result. Also, strength can just indicate that this is going to be a month where you're going to exceed expectations. You're going to appear a lot stronger than you thought you could. But you do want to confront things head on this next month. You don't want to be passive and not active when the strength card comes up. It's a card of setting your intentions and then also taking action toward that best goal. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're Libra, for April 2024 is the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is the wise counselor of the tarot. He is the one who survives trials by fire. I like to think that the King of Wands is not born a king. I write about this in my book, Fearless Tarot. He's born a soldier, and it's through repeated battles that he proves himself in battle over and over again until he's proclaimed the King of Wands. He also has that humble little lizard next to him. And the lizard's not like the lion, which is that regal symbol. The lizard is the symbol that might be of a lower echelon. And yet the King of Wands is proud of where he comes from. He remembers the whole journey. And what this can indicate as well, the lizard has a lot of wisdom. He doesn't let his temperature get too hot or too cold. This could be a month, Libra, where your inner wisdom is really telling you to maintain that equilibrium. But know that you're a survivor. Remember your whole journey. Remember where you've come from in just 10 short years, 5 short years. What have you done for yourself? How have you accomplished the impossible already? The King of Wands is advising you that you can take the heat. And he can also advise that you're going to reach great heights of success if you can harness that energy of the lion. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio or have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for April. And we got the Ace of Pentacles. Now, aces in the tarot are often really good to get. They're just like getting aces in a poker game. And when we see the Ace of Pentacles, if you look this card up online or in a tarot book, a lot of times it talks about a new job, a new opportunity, a new financial investment that's wise. Sometimes it can just indicate that there's a windfall coming your way, or that this is an ideal time to start making some smart financial decisions. You might be consolidating your finances, or it might be also a time where you're really setting your course towards some sort of future success. Either way, the Ace of Pentacles is telling you that the thing that's been vexing you, especially when it comes to your long-term plans, your security, I feel like there's a solution at hand. It's almost as if it's being offered to you out of a cloud from above. And so this is a month to expect the unexpected, but it's also a month to follow up on what needs to happen with your long-term security. Last thing I'll say about Ace of Pentacles is you see that little gateway in the bottom of the card. And when we look down the road out of the garden, there's also that mountain, which can sometimes symbolize an obstacle. I do feel like a gateway is opening for you, but just like the mountain that's before you, there's also a challenge that you're going to have to climb. But if you can stake your flag into the top of that mountain, you are going to be so successful and so happy that you did take this journey. So I do feel like this is a month, Scorpio, for you to make a choice about what's going to bring that security and not get intimidated by whatever mountain might be strewn in your path ahead. Next is going to be advice from your inner wisdom. And look at that. We got the Star card for Scorpio. The Star card appears after some of the most difficult cards in the major arcana. So after the sacrifices of the Hangman and the endings of the Death card, and then also facing the underworld with the Devil, and then the breakdown of the Tower, we finally get to the Star. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. And I just get the sense with both of these stars on the Ace of Pentacles and the Star card itself, it's like there's hope renewed for you. You're coming out of the long night. It's a time where you're finally crawling out of the underworld and you're finding that you're seeing hope again. Also, the star card indicates that this is a time to apply your own wisdom, Scorpio, and your own experience to what's before you. It's also a good month to network, to ask for help, especially from people who are distant from you, may not live in the same area as you. It might be a time to get some wisdom by collaboration or working with others in some way. Star is often associated with friendships and luminaries as well, but I just feel like there's some renewed hope coming your way this next month. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Sagittarius. So, if you're a Sagittarius or have a lot of Sagittarius in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for April. And look at that, we got the sun. The sun is telling you that a new day is dawning, Sagittarius. And a lot of people consider this card to be the best card in the deck. And it's my opinion, the best card of the deck. Other people have different opinions, but this card will often indicate there's good news. There's a new beginning on the horizon for you. There's also a sense of openness and opportunity. And so something that might have felt like such a vexing problem, something that you've been really struggling with, might just lay in your path. It might be that the solution is just presented to you in a very miraculous way. So I feel for you, Sagittarius, with the Sun card, this is an optimistic next month for you. And like that sun baby on the horse, he's got his wide open arms. This could be a time to be wide open to the experiences that are coming your way. It might also be a time for you to open up to the solution. The baby's also riding the horse, and horses can represent magical assistance. So, this could be a time where you're literally getting carried toward your success. You're getting some sort of help or support toward it. The advice from your inner wisdom this next month, if you're a Sagittarius, is the Eight of Cups. And an interesting card here, the Eight of Cups is a card of soul searching. It's a card of really going toward what your authentic path is. It's also a card that shows an eclipse happening where the moon is blocking out the sun. And what this is showing is that the moon sometimes needs to take precedence over the sun. And what do I mean by that? Well, the moon represents your inner authentic nature, the true you. It also represents buried, hidden, or unconscious emotions that are affecting your perspective on a situation. And just now, this next month, the moon may be covering up the light of the sun. It might be eclipsing it. Maybe there's something that you're needing to work through emotionally first before you can fully embrace the land of the sun. I feel like both energies are needed for you this next month, Sagittarius. It isn't just about staying positive, toxically on that toxic positivity of the sun and brightness. It's also about looking at what your emotions are telling you, really looking at what your instincts are calling you toward. Making sure that your inner life, your inner realm, is also reflected in the external. And yet, I can't help but believe that there is good news this next month. There is this reconciliation of the sun and the moon within you. And so it's important for you to continue going forward bravely. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Capricorn. So, if you're a Capricorn or have a lot of Capricorn in your chart, here is your message for April for where it's best to place your focus. And the card we get here is the Angel of Temperance. And we see the Angel of Temperance pouring one full cup into an empty cup. And what this is showing is moderation, balance. For you, Capricorn, it's time to identify what's been running on empty in your own life. And it's time to consciously pour some of your resources, your energy into that thing that's been so neglected. The Temperance card is also a card of healing, taking a time out, recuperation. So this month might be a time for you to take a breather. Might also be a time where you're seeking balance. The Angel of Temperance has one foot in the pool of water, but also one foot on the dry land. And what that's a symbol for is that the angel is in touch with the realm of the watery emotions, his feelings, but he's also grounded. He's also got one foot on the dry land. This could be a time for you to really also identify, am I too much in the daily grind? Am I too much in that earth element? Am I too inundated with the work that's to be done? Or am I too much in my emotions? Am I too much in the water? This might be a time to balance. If we look up the word temperance in the dictionary, a lot of times it means moderation. And so this could be a time to be a little bit more moderate and to rebalance. Advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Capricorn for this next month, is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords for me is a card of fortune favoring the bold. It's an ace in the tarot, which indicates positive new beginnings, changing the energy, beginning anew. But there's also a sense of focus. There's a sense of like, aha, that's what I have to do. I'm going to go toward that thing. And also, it is a card of taking action. I feel if you act toward your brilliant epiphany, your great idea, you are going to absolutely succeed. This might be a month where you really are getting the courage to finally go for it. And yet, it is important for you as well to check within, to not be so driven that you're driving yourself to exhaustion. So, act, yes, but also have an eye on balance and also equilibrium and harmony this next month, too. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aquarius. So, if you're an Aquarius or have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, this first card is where it's best for you to place your focus for April. And here we see the Five of Swords. And we see these two squires in the background of the card staring at that element of water, which in the tarot can be a symbol for emotions or feelings. And they're feeling defeated. The swords that are on the card, they've unsuccessfully been unable to carry them all at once. So they lost. They couldn't do it. And they're kind of stuck into their feelings about it. And then we have this other figure, the wind blowing through his hair, representing that element of air. And he's picking up three swords for right now and leaving the other two for later. For you this next month, Aquarius, it might be a time to apply that element of air, not to get stuck in your emotions or your feelings of defeat, of something that might not have worked in the past because there was just too much. You're spread too thin. But instead, like the figure in the foreground, to have a more logical or systematic approach to this, to carry only what you can carry at this time. For me, the Five of Swords is a card of prioritizing, figuring out what is the most important thing for me to really put my energy into right now. And all the other small stuff, the thing that's just wasting my energy, maybe it's time to let go of those things and really, again, redouble my efforts toward the thing that is the priority at this time. I just feel a little bit of messy energy with the Five of Swords card for you this next month if you're scattered or you have too many irons on the fire. So it might be a month to simplify and really focus on one goal and really zero in on that thing. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're an Aquarius for the month of April, is the Hangman reversed. Now, upright, the Hangman is upside down, but when he's reversed, he's right side up. And the Hangman reversed can indicate that you're getting back on your feet again. After a period of suspension, sacrifice, energy that you've been putting into this thing that you're hoping to see succeed, this might be a month where things start to turn around. You still need to stay focused on the priority with that Five of Swords card, but I do feel like you're getting back on your feet again. And in fact, I'm kind of just getting the sense intuitively, like the next 3 months or so for you, are you getting more and more in a stronger, more grounded position moving forward? And so even if things have felt messy or overwhelming before now, I feel with that Hangman reversed, you're getting back on your feet again. And that which seems so upside down in your life is getting right side up again. And finally, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Pisces. So if you're a Pisces or have a lot of Pisces in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for April 2024. And appropriately, we have the moon card. And for a lot of tarot readers, the moon card is traditionally associated with the astrological sign of Pisces. And what this card can indicate for you, Pisces, this next month is that you're definitely in that spiritual, watery, unconscious, creative realm of the moon. It may also be a month where you can really give space to your feelings. You can go on that spiritual quest inward. It might be a time where you're able to retreat a little bit more and also just get in touch with what your authentic self is really calling you to do. There's also those animals on the card. We have the domesticated dog on the card who's baying at the moon along with the wolf. And the dog can represent the domestic, civilized part of yourself. The wolf is like the wild side of you. And what are they both doing? They're both baying at the moon. So this could be a month where you're kind of letting go of the well behaved, well manicured, social self. And instead, you're really letting yourself feel a little bit more free. And it's also important for you when the moon card comes up to stop and pay attention to what those unconscious emotions or feelings are really telling you because they're affecting your perspective at this time. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Pisces for this next month of April, is the Two of Swords, where we see another moon on the card. Here we got the crescent moon that's waxing into the full moon. The Two of Swords, for me, is the card of in between. We see the woman between the sky and the sea. She's in between the new moon and the full moon. She's also balanced between the two swords. And she's blindfolded, meaning she can't see what's happening next. And yet, look at her stature. She is calm and serene. She's centered because she knows that true wisdom is found within. And I feel like this is a month for you, Pisces, where you're making peace with the in between in your own life, the thing that might not feel resolved or settled right now. It's important for you to breathe into that calm wisdom of your inner center. And yes, also listen to that lunar energy, which is all to do with your authentic self, the true you. Follow its call inward. And I feel like the in between is going to lead you toward a time of huge breakthroughs and magic in your life. And that is this month's Tarotscope for April 2024. I do hope you enjoyed it and you found it useful. If you did, why not share it with a friend? Also, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you want even more tarot wisdom, tarot goodies. I do daily polls, and I also do weekly readings as well. If you like my approach to tarot, why not consider as well a tarot reading with me? I have appointments available on my website, elliotoracle.com, and I also have gift certificates available there too, and signed copies of my books, Fearless Tarot and Tarot in Love. I hope you have a wonderful month of April, whatever you're doing, that it's safe, prosperous, healthy, and happy. And I will see you here again next month, so do take care.